The trading outpost on Kepler 442b was a place where deals were made and silence was golden. Nobody asked questions. Nobody got involved. That was the rule that kept the fragile peace between dozens of species who barely tolerated each other's existence. Milo Trent had learned this rule within his first hour of arrival. The 17-year-old xenobiology student had come to the Outer Rim station as part of an academic exchange program. His datapad stuffed with notes about hypothetical first contact scenarios, and his head filled with dreams of peaceful interspecies cooperation. Reality, he discovered quickly, was far more cynical. The marketplace sprawled across 3 interconnected domes, each one filled with the cacophony of alien languages, the shimmer of holographic advertisements, and the distinctive smell of 1,000 different worlds. Milo navigated through the crowd carefully, his oversized jacket making him look even smaller than he was, his thick glasses constantly slipping down his nose as he craned his neck to observe the fascinating diversity around him. That's when he heard it, a sound that didn't belong, a low, rumbling whimper that cut through the market noise like a blade. Most beings in the marketplace simply moved away from the source, their various appendages and sensory organs carefully avoiding acknowledgement. But Milo's curiosity was stronger than his common sense. He found the creature in a forgotten corner between 2 cargo containers, where the dome's atmospheric processors hummed with mechanical indifference. At first, Milo thought he was looking at a small transport vehicle. Then the vehicle moved, and he realized his mistake. Rathul was massive, easily 4 meters tall even while lying down, with midnight blue scales that caught the artificial light like oil on water. 6 muscular limbs ended in retractable claws, and a ridge of bioluminescent spines ran from its elongated skull down to a powerful tail. Its eyes, 3 of them arranged in a triangle on its broad face, were the color of molten copper, and they fixed on Milo with an intensity that made him freeze mid-step. The creature's mouth, filled with teeth that could easily bite through durasteel, opened slightly. Another whimper emerged, softer this time, almost apologetic. Milo's breath caught. This wasn't the sound of a predator. This was pain. "Hey," he whispered, taking one careful step forward. "Hey, it's okay." Rathul's spines flared with a warning pulse of crimson light. Every instinct screamed at Milo to run, but his eyes had caught something. The creature's front right paw was held at an awkward angle, and something was protruding from between its scales. Around them, the marketplace continued its business. A Threxian merchant glanced their way, saw the situation, and quickly shuffled in the opposite direction. A group of Centauri traders whispered among themselves but made no move to help. The unspoken rule held firm: don't get involved. But Milo Trent had never been very good at following rules that didn't make sense. "I'm going to come closer," he said softly, not even sure if the creature could understand standard. "I think you're hurt. I want to help." He dropped to his knees, making himself smaller, less threatening. His hands, trembling slightly, moved to his satchel where he kept his field kit, standard equipment for any xenobiology student, though he'd never imagined using it like this. Rathul watched him with those copper eyes, its breath coming in short, pained huffs. The creature was easily powerful enough to end Milo's life with a single swipe, and they both knew it. Yet something in the young human's approach, the gentleness, the genuine concern, made the massive beast pause. Milo inched forward on his knees, his voice maintaining a steady, soothing rhythm of meaningless words. "You're okay. I've got you. We're going to fix this, all right? Just stay calm." When he was close enough to touch, Rathul's body tensed like a coiled spring. Milo held out his hand, palm up, letting the creature see he held no weapon. After a moment that felt like an eternity, he placed his small hand gently on the creature's massive paw. The scales were warm, surprisingly smooth, and there, embedded deep between 2 of them, was a jagged piece of crystalline metal, probably a piece of debris from the docks. The wound around it had turned an angry purple, clearly infected. "Oh, you poor thing," Milo breathed. "This must hurt so much." He pulled out his medical scanner, running it over the wound. The readings made him wince. Without treatment, the infection would spread through Rathul's system within days. Given the creature's isolation here, Milo suspected nobody would lift a finger to help even if it collapsed. "This is going to hurt," he warned, pulling out a small pair of extraction forceps and a vial of broad-spectrum antiseptic. "But I promise it'll feel better after." Rathul made a sound deep in its chest, not quite a growl, but an acknowledgement. Those copper eyes never left Milo's face. With steady hands that surprised even himself, Milo gripped the shard and pulled. Rathul's entire body went rigid, its claws gouging furrows in the metal floor, but it didn't pull away, didn't lash out. The shard came free with a wet sound and pale blue blood welled up immediately. Milo worked quickly, flushing the wound with antiseptic, applying synthetic tissue seal and wrapping it with adaptive bandaging that would adjust to Rathul's movements. Throughout it all, he kept up his gentle narration, and throughout it all, the massive creature remained perfectly still. When he finished, Milo sat back on his heels, suddenly aware of how fast his heart was beating. "They're all done." Rathul lifted its paw experimentally, flexing the digits. The pain that had clouded its eyes for days was gone. It looked at its paw, then at the small human before it, and something shifted in those alien features. An expression Milo couldn't quite read but somehow understood perfectly. The creature's bioluminescent spines pulsed with a soft, warm golden light. Its massive head lowered until it was level with Milo's, and a deep rumbling sound emerged from its chest. Not threatening, but something almost like a purr. A wet tongue, surprisingly gentle, swiped across Milo's face. He laughed, surprised, wiping alien saliva from his glasses. "You're welcome," he said, grinning. Around them, the marketplace had gone quiet. Dozens of beings from a dozen different worlds had stopped to stare at the impossible sight. A human child and a Rathulian death beast, the latter now nuzzling the former with obvious affection. Milo reached up and scratched behind one of Rathul's auditory ridges. The purring sound intensified. "You know what?" he said. "I think this is going to be the start of a beautiful friendship." In the cold calculations of the Outer Rim, where strength was currency and compassion was weakness, nobody could have predicted this. But then again, nobody had accounted for the peculiar human tendency to extend kindness, even when it defied all logic, especially then. That evening, when Milo returned to his quarters with a massive alien beast padding protectively behind him, he opened his datapad and added a new note to his xenobiology thesis. Hypothesis: kindness may not be a technology, but it might be humanity's greatest invention. Behind him, Rathul settled down with a contented sigh, its copper eyes never leaving its small, nerdy savior. In the end, perhaps that was the most human thing of all. To see a creature in pain and simply help, no matter how terrifying, no matter how dangerous, no matter what anyone else thought. Because some rules, Milo Trent had learned, were meant to be broken.